And I don't just take meetings unless there's something. If I thought it would come down.
Yes. I don't know. Probably irritate him more.
Probably, and, you know, he's a member of the board. He's a supporter. I have to be very careful what I say.
No, that's a
You
good,
know?
yeah, there you go. Does he actually have any lawsuit filed against the city?
He has a lawsuit filed with David Cullen. Two of them.
I guess they told us.
He has not filed anything. He claims to have a suit against Mayor Burke.
Oh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tuesday, August 17th hybrid city council meeting. I now call this meeting to order. Would you please stand with me? We pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to read a passage out of Exodus chapter 18, verse 19. Advice given to Moses, it says, "Now listen to me, I will give you some advice, and may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their causes to him. Teach them the statutes and laws and show them the way to live and the work they must do." Would you bow with me in prayer? God, we ask that your blessings be upon this meeting. May we make wise decisions. In your name we pray. Amen. This afternoon, we have a proclamation and where we're going to recognize the second Presbyterian Church on their 150th anniversary. So I'm going to ask those that are in attendance tonight with the church, if you'd please join me at the podium. We'd like to congratulate the church on 150 years of service to the city of Chattanooga with a proclamation. Whereas the dream of a small group of dedicated individuals was realized in 1871 when the Second Presbyterian Church USA was founded with 14 charter members. The church grew and was built at the present day location of 7th and Pine Street and dedicated on November the 15th, 1891. Whereas the church was dedicated on November the 15th, 1891, and has been served by 10 pastors, several of which have served more than a decade each. Whereas in the early 1980s, the Second Presbyterian was one of 7 downtown churches that formed a nonprofit corporation named Chattanooga Ministries Incorporated to serve meals to the hungry and homeless. Today, that organization is the Chattanooga Community Kitchen. Whereas in 1980, the church was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. In 2021, the church was approved by the Tennessee Historical Commission and to have a marker placed in front of the church. Whereas the church has housed the St. Matthew's shelter since 1984, the shelter helps homeless men turn their lives around and move toward independence. Whereas today the church is involved with UTC through the Hope House and supports the Chattanooga Area Food Bank, North Side Neighborhood House, Welcome Home, and the Community Kitchen, just to name a few. Now, therefore, I, Chip Henderson, Chairman of the Chattanooga City Council, do hereby honor and commend the leadership and the congregation of the Second Presbyterian Church for 150 years as a house of worship and a ministry that reaches beyond its 4 walls to serve the community in love. Congratulations to the church. Would you like to have a few comments?
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm Reverend Kathy Meyer, the current pastor there at Second Presbyterian. Suzanne Rushworth and Sandy Franklin are 2 of the members of our 150th committee. It's been a wonderful year for us as we have celebrated all year long. Our big anniversary celebration will conclude the first weekend in September, the 3rd through the 5th. Invite you all to come and join with us. We so appreciate the support of the city and look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, could I have a motion on the minutes, please? We have a motion on the minutes to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Hill, Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dottley, Councilman Byrd, Vice Chairman Smith, Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
8 yeses.
the ayes have it. Moving now to your order of business for the council this afternoon. We have some ordinances under final reading. Madam Clerk, these are all second reading. Would you please read 5A, B, C, D, E, and F if there are no objections from the council?
Item A, an ordinance closing and abandoning a portion of an open alley and unopened right-of-way west of the 700 block of Central Avenue is detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions. Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 24, Article 14, Section 24502, Schedule 2, speed on through streets Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 7453 East Brainerd Road from C2 Convenience Commercial Zone to UGC Urban General Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 8187 East Brainerd Road from R1 residential zone and R2 residential zone to O1 office zone and RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone, subject to certain conditions. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone two properties addressed at 2512 Coward Street from R3 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions. Item F, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located in the 700 block of East Martin Luther King Boulevard from URA3 urban residential attached 3-story zone to UCX3 urban commercial mixed use 3-story zone.
Councilman Ledford, followed by Councilman Byrd. We have a motion on the floor to approve items 5A through F with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd. Councilman Hester. Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. Now, Madam Clerk, if you would, Ms. Daisy, is Roberta Long in the audience? Okay, there she is. Would you, I tell you what, let's take A, C, and D as a package, if there's no objection. A, C, and D.
Item A, a resolution authorizing the administrator for community development to enter into a new agreement with the Chattanooga Housing Authority, CHA, in order to expend the balance of previously awarded community development block grant CDBG funding in the amount of $87,666. Item C, a resolution authorizing the Department of Information Technology's Chief Information Officer to renew the second year of the agreement with Application Software Technology LLC, AST, regarding statements of work relating to the Master Services Agreement for ERP, Oracle implementation, hosting, maintenance, and support services for fiscal year 2022 for an amount not to exceed $2.5 million. Item D, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 2 for Jacobs Engineering Group, Inc. for contract number E200100201 Disaster Recovery Management Services Contract for the renewal of year 2 of the 4-year term blanket contract for the increased amount of $33,620 for a revised contract amount of $350,527.
What is the pleasure of the council? We have a motion on the floor to approve items 7A, C, and D with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Byrd. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
motion carries. Now, we do have Ms. Long in the audience with us this afternoon. Thank you for being here. Madam Clerk, if you would read 7B, please.
A resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Roberta Long as the interim assistant city treasurer.
Councilwoman Byrd. We have a motion on the floor to approve item 7B, Ms. Roberta Long as interim assistant city treasurer with a proper second. Is there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd. Councilman Hester. Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
8 yeses.
so moved. Congratulations, Ms. Long. Welcome aboard. Moving now to purchases. Ms. Julia, you gonna read those this afternoon?
Good evening, council. We've got 5 purchases this evening.
The first is from the Waste Resources Division of Public Works. This is the second and final renewal option for a blanket contract with Carl Eric Johnson Incorporated for Moino pump parts. A 10% price increase was submitted at renewal for a total annual estimated cost of $150,000. The second is also from the Waste Resources Division of Public Works. This is the second and final renewal option for liquid sodium biosulfite from Southern Ionics. A 32% price increase was submitted at renewal for a total cost of $980,500. The third is from Information Technology. This is a sole source contract with KCI Technologies Incorporated, which is needed to continue work for CityWorks software hosting and support citywide. The original contract was awarded from RFP number 157740. This contract would be for a term of 4 years with a total annual cost estimate of $55,000. The fourth purchase is from the Fleet Management Division of Public Works. This is for a contract extension with Lee Smith Incorporated for automotive parts for 3 months through November 30th, 2021, and will include a price increase for parts listed for a total increase of $725,000 for a total annual estimated spend of $2,891,667. Extra time is needed to get the invitation to bid ready to be advertised in the new Oracle Cloud system. The fifth and final purchase is from the Citywide Services Division of Public Works. This is for the purchase of 1 5,000-gallon brine tank and 8 1,035-gallon anti-icing tank kits for snow and ice prevention on roads from Veritech Industries Incorporated for a total annual estimated cost of $30,321.16. This purchase is utilizing the Sourcewell contract number 052919-VAR.
All right, thank you, ma'am. What is the pleasure of the council? We have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchases with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill, Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd, Vice Chairman Smith, Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carries 8-0. Moving now to committee reports. Councilman Byrd. No report. Councilwoman Dotley.
No report.
Councilman Smith. Vice Chair Smith, I'm sorry.
Hit that. Next week, following or during our agenda session, we will have a legislative committee meeting of which we will be discussing legislation has been put forward before this body to eliminate the second division of city court. No further report, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, sir. We had an education session meeting today, according to our public schedule. Next week's education session, because we moved with such dispatch, I'm suggesting that we change the time from 10:30 to 1. We have very little to go over, and if no one disagrees with that, I'd like that to happen.
Okay, is there any disagreement or objection to us beginning at 1 o'clock from this council?
The rest of the schedule will remain the same. Thank you,
So
sir.
we will begin our education session at 1 o'clock next Tuesday.
That's right. We still have other things on the agenda, the published agenda. And that's the public input and the 2 votes, and those will remain the same.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Hester? No report. Councilman Ledford? Councilwoman Hill? Very well. All right, it is my understanding that this afternoon, and we are back with the hybrid form of meeting this afternoon. We do have a few that has registered to speak that is joining us virtually. Is there anyone in the audience that is present here this afternoon by a show of hands that would like to address the council? Okay, I'm going to ask our attorney if she would to read the rules for this afternoon.
All right. We'll have the in-person people first line up behind the podium. Each speaker wishing to address the council will need to wait for Chairman Henderson to call on you, and please limit your comments to issues that are in the legislative and quasi judicial purview of the council. After we have finished going through the in-person speakers, since we are on a hybrid form, the chairman will begin to call on people from the Zoom who have their hand up. And those speakers, like the in-person speakers, will have 3 minutes to speak. And I think the council has agreed to limit comment to 1 hour this evening, and I think it is 6:16.
Okay. So I have a 6:15. So the council did agree earlier this afternoon to limit our public comment time to 1 hour during the hybrid format. So if you would, sir, come forward and give us your name and your district number.
Good evening, council. It's good to see y'all again. My name's Sam Kabosvich. I'm District 3. About 3 months ago, y'all are well aware, I came and brought a big crowd with me to speak down here, and we talked about the pandemic and the shortages in our different departments at our work. And at this point in time, it's really gotten worse. Of course, we know that. And of course, it's budget time. And I'm here just to, you know, when I talked with y'all and we talked about essential workers and different situations, y'all seem to be behind us at Public Works 100%. And we really appreciate that. And we're just hoping that everything seems to be moving along pretty good right now. We appreciate Brent and Ronald very much working with us and talking with us and keeping us aware about everything that's going on. And I just want y'all to keep in mind when it comes time to vote on this budget that y'all are still behind us 100% and you do the right thing. And I appreciate it very much.
My name is Russell McDaniel, District 3. I'm an equipment mechanic 2 at Fleet Division 1 at 12th and Park. My hire date was 2004, so I've been with the city about 17 years. I'm first and foremost grateful for my job that I've got and the people that I've worked with, especially in my time of need that happened a few years ago. There's a lot of good people at the city. Our situation at hand today is dire in the shop and elsewhere with the drivers. Where we used to have 2 mechanics per bay in our 14-bay shop, we now have 3 on the floor, 1 in the office, and 1 parts guy on first shift. On second shift, we have 5 men mechanics on the floor with 1 foreman. We, the mechanics, are expected to maintain a fleet, which according to the Vehicle Equipment Registry for Public Works shows about excess of 2,600 pieces of equipment that vary about 30 different types, not just cars and trucks, in various manufacturers. We, the mechanics, are also required upon hiring to have our own tools before we can start. I don't know if there's any other job that I'm aware of in the city that requires that. Those tools can range from $3,000 to $15,000, depending on the years of service and experience that mechanic has. We are also required to have CDL license, ASE certifications. The reason for the decline in our workforce is twofold. Of course, low wages have led people to go elsewhere, but more importantly, a good number have taken a lesser paying job within the city because of management that was unprofessional or untrained, difficult to talk to at times, and often spiteful. There's a dire need to better evaluate, educate, and place the proper people in supervision and management to help bring the morale up in Public Works and in the shop. We, the mechanics, have worked every day during the COVID pandemic until it hit our shop very hard in January of this year. We continue to work every day as we see the second wave approaching. We work holidays for sanitation department, as well as some weekends when brush pickup is heavy. When natural disasters strike and snowstorms impact our community, we are constantly on duty with the Public Works drivers and operators as they clear a path for fire police and EMTs and other crews that are responsible for taking care of the people's needs in the city of Chattanooga. My plea is this, that the city council will seriously take into consideration the need for change and improvement that Mayor Kelly and his staff are presenting in this budget. Thank you for your time.
My name is Keith Templin. I'm from District 1. I work for City of Chattanooga Public Works. And I have a question. Earlier this year, the city had received $38.36 million from the American Rescue Plan to be used in a few different ways. One was essential workers. And I was wanting to know what happened to that money, and are public works, city workers eligible to receive that $5 to $13, not to exceed $25,000 per an employee? Are we going to receive that, or what happened to the money is what I'm asking.
Sir, could I tell you what, if you would get with the chief of staff after this meeting, I think he can kind of help explain where those funds are currently. And I think it'll answer your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of council. I'm Brad Rayson. I'm president of SEIU Local 205. We represent the government workers, general government workers here. Want to tell you that we support the mayor's budget. We support the pay plan. You know, our members, the employees of the city of Chattanooga, have been the essential workers that have kept this city going through an unprecedented pandemic and incredibly tough times. That many of our members didn't have the luxury of being able to stay home and work remotely. They had to be on the front lines. And even those that had the opportunity to work at home have contributed greatly to make sure our city keeps running, providing the services that we need every day, picking up the brush, picking up the trash, making sure our kids have places to go to after school. You know, this budget recognizes those contributions. And it's a big step, but just the first step. It recognizes their hard work, and it's not the product of one budget cycle. This is something that our union, council, the leadership in our city has been working for years. So we urge you to support this budget and support the workers of the city of Chattanooga. Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else in the room that would like to address the council this afternoon? If not, I'm going to turn to our online audience and ask if you're joining us virtually this afternoon and you would like to address the council at this time, would you please click on the raise hand button and let us know that you would like to speak. If you have registered to speak this afternoon and you are joining us online, please raise your hand at this time. All right, council, I am not seeing anyone on our Zoom call that would have their hand up that would like to address the council tonight. I'm not seeing any other hands in the audience at this time. What is the pleasure of the council?